Hey athletes, this one gets me just fired up to talk about. The difference between an exercise program and a training program. Let's talk. So, what's burning you, Josh? All right. There are a lot of people that confuse the two. So an exercise program, what is its main focus? The main focus of an exercise program is to set you up where you come to the gym, you work out on your own, whatever, and it's all geared towards losing weight. That's what an exercise program is. Will you gain some muscle? Sure. But it's all geared towards you losing weight, okay? It's a very general program. By no means by doing an exercise program where you're doing even box jumps and rowing and pull-ups, and by no means is that going to make you jump higher, run faster, or anything like that. Why? Because typically an exercise program is very fatiguing. It makes you really tired. It burns you out. There are some exercise programs where the whole point is, as a group, you're trying to compete against each other, you're trying to beat each other, and you're just pounding yourself into the ground Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every single day. An exercise program can cause some injuries. It can be very drastic. And again, the whole point is just more, more, more. Okay, that's fine. And you know what? Companies like CrossFit have made it very popular. I'm sure you've heard of CrossFit before. That is a very highly regarded exercise program, okay? Now, before some of you get a little upset, it isn't a training program, okay? The basic CrossFit platform isn't set up to send you to the games, okay? I mean, I said it here, all right? If you actually were to sit down with some of the best CrossFitters and you ask them year round, do you compete with everybody, try to kill yourself 5 days a week and just do a CrossFit 1 hour class? They're going to say no, because they don't care about winning this workout. They're caring about, how do I do better than I did the last time I went to the games and get there? A training program. They have a structured strength program. Then they have a structured conditioning program with some skills kind of worked in there. You don't see some of the top names in CrossFit just murdering themselves year round. No. When they're doing those really hard Metcons, that might be them gearing up towards a competition. But let's say they're 20 weeks out from a competition. They're not doing Metcons 5 days a week, okay? They might only be doing 2, okay? And as the competition gets closer, maybe they, a couple weeks out, maybe they are doing 2 a day, and then their strength training kind of takes a back seat. Fine, okay? But right after the CrossFit Games, they're not coming home and beating their head against the wall. No, they're saying, okay, here's how I did it well. Here's what I did poorly. I want to work on what I did poorly and bring up that poor level so that me as an athlete, I'm better. Here's my plan to do this over the next 8, 9, 10 months. Then when it comes time to actually start competing and doing things like that, I'm going to be ready. But again, they are not beating their heads against the wall every single day. For their conditioning, they're doing strength. And in their conditioning, sure, they might be doing some of the dynamic exercises that you see in the CrossFit Games. But they're doing traditional cardio, rowing, running, stair climbers, assault bikes, where they're doing maybe sprint intervals or whatever. They're keeping it short because, again, they're concerned with how much fatigue they get. Because they, in their off season, when they're not trying to beat their heads against the wall, they're trying to get stronger. They're not necessarily concerned with how good they look on Instagram, okay? They don't need to be posting a new personal best every single week so that their fans think that they're training hard. Their fans already know they're training hard. And again, sometimes they do workouts that just aren't pretty. Sometimes they take a whole week off. Oh, fancy that. You bust your ass in the CrossFit Games and you take a couple weeks off after. Oh, that's blasphemy. How dare they? No. They go home and they just keep pounding. No, by no means. An exercise program is all about fatigue driving. A training program is a planned amount of fatigue that allows your body to recover so that it can come back a little bit stronger. Again, an exercise program is only concerned with just pounding you and just constantly pounding you. So, Josh, what do? We need to blend the two. the two thoughts. So if you're trying to lose weight, here we go. So let's say you're going to your classes, and we've talked about this. We've talked about how to deload, how to think about your workout programs and throughout the week, and we're going to do it again. You need to have some days where you just kind of hold back a little bit, okay? Not that, oh, I might as well not even go to the gym. No. Let's say if the hardest workout of your life is a 10 out of 10 or an 11 out of 10, let's say that a couple days a week, you're doing like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. You wake up the next morning, you're like, yeah, I did something, but you're not in excruciating pain. Because let's say on Monday, you just crush yourself. Tuesday, how are you supposed to do anything? You're probably going to kind of muddle through it. And if you're muddling through Tuesday and just constantly stimulating yourself and driving yourself into the ground, Wednesday's going to come around, you're down here and you're driving yourself into the ground. Again, we've talked about this. I just need to remind you guys that if you're in a class setting, most likely that is not a training program for you. That is an exercise program with a cookie cutter workout program to just get the general population to kind of get a sweat on and kind of get things moving. So some days are moderate. Some days you should go a little heavier, and some days you should kick the crap out of yourself. Maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. You hammer yourself with cardio. Fine. 2 high intensity days, maybe only 1. Great. 1 or 2 days of, hey, I want to specifically get stronger. Cool. Don't try to get specifically stronger after you just hammered yourself with cardio. Okay? That doesn't make sense at all. You might want to have a moderate day right before you do that high intensity day. Then maybe you take a day off, have another moderate day, and then a really heavy day, and then maybe another heavy day or another moderate day. Or maybe you try for a second high intensity day, but because you did a moderate, heavy, and then you're trying to do another high intensity day, by no means are you going to be able to push like you did the first time. So maybe that's your second day where it's just a little bit lighter. Fine. Same thing goes for your strength. Maybe do a moderate day in strength, then you take a day off. Then a moderate day, strength, high intensity, or vice versa. Moderate day, high intensity, and you know, yeah, this strength day isn't really going to be that good because I'm going to be fatigued. Whatever. But you guys have to understand that an exercise program only works for so long of you beating your head against the wall. Eventually, you just bleed out, okay? So please, think about the whole week. Think about a whole month. Here are the days that I'm really going to try to push if I can, if I feel up to it, and force yourself to if you can. And here are some of the days that I'm going to take it easy. That way I'm treating it more like a training program where I'm trying to control my fatigue and just slowly build up the fatigue that I can withstand so that I'm giving myself enough time to recover and get better, to get leaner, to lose body fat, to gain more muscle, whatever. Stop treating all workouts like you have to beat your head against the wall.